Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here today. I am Elena Valdez, and this is my new channel, and I'm super excited to be here. I've been wanting to get this off and running for a while now, especially during these times. I was compelled to create something that would offer some sort of guidance to parents, guardians, anybody who is currently caretaking children during these crazy times. And quite honestly, I think these readings are necessary no matter what the climate and no matter what's going on in the world. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much. Please leave your comments and click the like button if you'd like. And I want to show you the deck that I'll be using. It's super adorable, and I thought it would be appropriate to use for this type of reading because we are dealing with the perspective of the child, right? So even though this reading is for you, the guardian, the parent, it is from the perspective of the child and their little energy. So I'm going to be using this deck, Mons Tarot. And I am super excited because the cards are so cute and so perfect. But anyhow, let's get started. This is the Leo reading. So if you have a child or you are the guardian of a Leo, this is for you. Okay. And I have already pre-shuffled, but I know viewers like to see the shuffle. I myself, when I watch readings, I definitely appreciate seeing the shuffle. Okay, so the first question we're going to ask Spirit is, what is your Leo child experiencing in the month of October? What is your Leo child experiencing in the month of October? And of course, this is a general read. I feel like all of the readers, sometimes we sound like broken records, right, when we say that. But it is worth repeating just as a reminder. I will leave my information below in case you want to book a private reading. But this is a general reading for the Leo child. And the first question is, what is your Leo child experiencing in the month of October? Spirit, what is the Leo child experiencing in the month of October? I'm going to take it because it did want to flip. Nine of Cups. What a beautiful card to start out with. Let me show you. Isn't that cute? It's the perfect card, the perfect deck for this type of reading. I love it. Okay, we'll come back to it. And the next question is, what are the challenges that your Leo child may be facing in October? They're still a little sticky. That was not an actual flip. Oh, but I think that one definitely wants to come out. So this is what your child is experiencing in the month of October. Or I'm sorry, the challenge that your child is going through in the month of October. Oh, I love it. It's so cute. And see, there's a little lion representing Leo there on the person's outfit or little monster's cape or dress. I don't even know what to call it, but it's just cute. Okay, so that's the challenge. And next question is, what does your child, your Leo child, need most from you, the guardian, the parent, in the month of October? Oh, this card has been coming out so often. I think this is definitely a theme, and we'll get back to it. I'll explain what it all means, but this has been popping up in almost all of my readings. And I have shuffled over and over. I shuffle between reads and what have you, but it's very interesting. So anyhow, okay, let's get started. Okay, so it looks like your Leo child in the month of October, the way he, she, they is experiencing his or her life in general is pretty good, pretty darn good. The Nine of Cups is all about wishes coming true, enjoying life, having everything you need, really just being fulfilled and content and quite happy. So that's great. And, again, and I've said this before, and I will keep repeating this because I think it's important, especially given our climate, given what's going on politically, given what's going on with COVID, the pandemic and whatnot. And, even if you don't live in the US, depending on where you're watching this from, I'm sure you're being affected by other politics going on in your own country. Here in the US, there's just so much going on, right? So as the parents or as the guardians, we may look at this and think, well, how do I ensure that my child doesn't feel the stress that we, the adults, are feeling, right? So this is actually good news. If your Leo child is experiencing the world around him, her, or them to be quite content and happy, it's great. It's a good sign that whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is you're providing in terms of an environment is working. And just because, yes, children are sponges and they can pick up when we're stressed, they can pick up when stuff is going on. But I think there are ways to maintain the balance, right? They have their own little experiences depending on what age your child is. They're not focused so much on what we may necessarily be focused on. So this is a great sign. I'm going to show you this card again. Little Leo there, enjoying life. I've said this in almost every read this month, and I'm obsessed with these cards, and I'm sure a lot of you will be too after watching this. So let's talk about the challenge. So it's interesting, right? Because as Leo, the Queen of Wands normally shows up as the fullness, the full manifestation of this fire sign's power, if you will. It's full coming to self, right? Because the Queen of Wands traditionally is, wands being energy and power and creativity. Creativity different from the cups, right? Because the Suit of Cups is creativity and imagination, but the Wands actually puts the physical energy into bringing it into being. So when the Queen of Wands shows up in the challenge position for your Leo child, and it's the same card that would also represent a Leo, if your child is experiencing this in challenge, is about his or her fullness into being and its own, his or her own creativity. Like that's a bit of a challenge, right? Which is interesting because here you've got the Nine of Cups, which would kind of denote the opposite, right? Somebody who's complete and happy and just being, which is really nice. And here, the challenge being fully who you are, or it could be on the flip. It can be a child potentially pushing the boundaries of self and maybe becoming a little too much themselves in the sense that, Leos can kind of outshine, like sometimes they're so creative and loving and rambunctious and in a fun kind of way. And it could be that maybe, because if you look at this card, you have these little friends here looking up, right? And he sort of has a little devious little look, doesn't he? And I don't know if that's how it was intended to be illustrated, but there is a little look of like he's up to something and maybe something fun, he's about to do something. He has a little, he has his wand, he's about to go create something, right? But then the little guys on the bottom here, his little friends, are looking up at him like, okay, mate, what are you up to? What are you going to do now? What little trouble are you going to get into? And so I'm reading it, and I'm not reading it as anything harmful. I'm reading it as, perhaps your Leo child is testing boundaries, right? And testing how far he or she or they can get. And okay, well, I have my little power wand here. And, that's not necessarily a bad challenge. And not that a challenge is bad either way, but, we sometimes need to press on and test the boundaries, see how far we can get, right? Especially as children. So you may have a little Leo on your hands that's maybe testing your patience, maybe being a little, just let's see if I can make things go my way. Because the Queen of Wands is very much about standing in their own power and knowing themselves in a way that is, calm, energetic, but pretty powerful. And I think that you could be dealing with someone, and this could actually be why your Leo child is so happy, though, because, he or she may actually really need this for his or her own confidence, right? Leos are very confident. They're confident, and but they do question their confidence sometimes. At least that's what I have observed. And sometimes they need the action, to take action or see the manifestation of what they're creating in their mind for it to be confirmed, for their confidence to be confirmed and valid. That's just what I have observed. And I think maybe your Leo child may be trying to see, well, let's see what I can create. Let's see what I can manifest. And some of those ideas that he or she may be coming up with may be pushing the envelope a little bit. But again, I'm not reading it as anything negative. It's just a little bit of a challenge that your child may, because you may have to create some boundaries. And so your little Leo may not want that, may not like that. And so it's something to just be aware of, but know that at the same time, while this is happening and it could be perceived as a challenge, little Leo's happy. Little Leo is in his or her fullness in terms of how he, she, they is experiencing the world around him or her. Okay? Very interesting. Let me show you this card again because I just adore it. Super, super cute. Okay. And in terms of what your little Leo needs from you, the Eight of Cups. So I'm reading this one of two ways. First of all, I think your Leo child needs you to kind of mind your business and walk away from these shenanigans that he or she or they may be up to. Or maybe not, and it doesn't mean turn a blind eye to it, but this exploration is necessary. And perhaps your child just needs you to walk away. And you see how this cute little monster is literally walking away from the Queen of Wands, the Leo here? The Eight of Cups is the traditional meaning, at least, a few things. It's walking away, and it doesn't necessarily mean walking away in a negative way. It just means walking away to the next level of evolution, right? Or the next step, wherever that is. Sometimes it is about moving away. In this case, I'm not seeing it as moving away or physically being away from your child. It's more of just let me grow into my being. Let me get into some shenanigans, mom, dad, guardian, so that I can really test my full abilities and really earn my confidence. And you're not going to be so far away. You're close by. And this little monster happens to have 3 eyes, which I think is hysterical in this context, because you're not going to have your eye off your little Leo. You're just going to kind of go to the next room, walk away. Okay, I'll be next door. And yes, I know you'll probably have the nanny cam anyway, but in other words, what your Leo child needs from you is to just allow him, her some space and just trust, right? Just trust that it's all good, all good. And consequently, the Eight of Cups comes before the Nine of Cups, right? Which is what your child is experiencing. So that's another symbol of, you know, this is necessary in order for your child to experience this. But I do think that the reason your child is experiencing this bliss here is because he's getting into some shenanigans. And by shenanigans, it could be anything. It could be anything from, you know, because shenanigans maybe sounds like negative, and that's not how I mean it, but it could be anything from, you know, pretending they're a little carpenter, and so they decide to go and build something. And you're nervous because you're like, oh my gosh, you know, what if they get hurt? Or, you know, what if, should I be like, that's just an example, right? It could be anything. It could be anything of maybe your child decides to draw on the wall and you're freaking out because, well, that's your wall. You can get plenty of good deals on paint these days. So, you know, I think you get my gist, right? So basically, give your little Leo some space so that the Nine of Cups can open up. So be in the Eight of Cups energy of walking away, giving some space. And you see this little guy here, he's not stressed out. It's not walking away sadly. It's not like the Five of Cups. It's the Eight of Cups. It's just moving away. It's all good. Right? And I think you're doing great. You're doing great, guardian, mom, dad, grandparents, whoever's listening. So just keep it up. And I'm going to end this with a card for the parent. And this is advice for the parent, for the guardian, from Spirit. And I'm going to use this deck that I really love. It's called the Gaian Tarot. And I love this deck because they look like almost like real photography. And I believe from the looks of it, they used real people from these cards, and it's very diverse. And every card, I love it because it's sort of like tarot meets oracle, right? And the reason I say that is because each card comes with a beautiful affirmation. And so I think in terms of your advice, and remember, the advice for you is in relationship to your Leo child. So let's see what Spirit has for you. And I usually just jump to the affirmation because it summarizes it so nicely anyway. And also wanted to just say, you know, obviously this is my first read, October. I'm new to this channel, and thank you for being patient with any potential glitches. And actually, I'm going to see if there's another one I wanted to pop out because it felt like there might be something else coming out. So anyhow, if you could please be kind enough to leave in the comment what age range you're here for, what age your child is, so that it can help inform me so I can better gauge these readings moving forward. Again, I was called to do this. It's a little different, I know, than what's out there right now, and I hope it's helpful. I hope it gives you some guidance. Okay, so you got the canoe, which is the chariot in the traditional. Doesn't that look like a portrait, like a real photography there? It's gorgeous. And the gardener. I believe this is the Empress, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. And so you've got two quote unquote major arcana here. But again, I don't read this like the regular tarot. So let me go get you the meaning. So again, this is adorable because it's very similar. And again, these two cards have been popping up quite a bit. So the Eight of Cups, which is about moving away, giving your Leo child some space, right? But even the advice is telling you to move away. Just calmly move away into your gardener essence, right? Which is the fruitful parent, the parent that trusts, the parent that is all engaging without necessarily, like, you notice this person, she's pregnant, she's abundant, she's happy, she trusts. She's trusting that all her crops are doing well, and she's enjoying the fruit of her labor. I mean, I didn't mean, no pun intended, but yeah, she is. And so you have, it's the similar energy. And I think what this really, what I'm getting from this is you allowing space for your child will also allow you to embrace your own essence, right? And again, this is not gender specific, okay? So this applies to all genders. And I say all because I am aware that there's more than two, right? So we want to maintain that energy. Okay, so let me read canoe. Okay, so the affirmation for the canoe is, or the chariot, where is that affirmation? Okay. By focusing on my goal, success is mine. This is a time to stay focused on your path and to exercise self-discipline as you work towards your goal. Set aside anything extraneous that would distract you or keep you from completing your task. Wonderful. So this could be Spirit just saying, continue doing what you need to do for yourself. Little Leo here is fine. You don't need to worry if you have been a little stressed, if your child has been showing signs of pushing boundaries. It's okay. You continue doing what you're doing for your own growth, your goals that you've set. Your child's doing wonderful. And the gardener. Sensuality, creativity, and abundance. Oh, I just got a visual too for some of you who are creatives, artists, maybe also allowing your Leo child to come up with their own form of exploring whatever creativity you bring to the table. So what I mean by that is, for example, this could be part of this energy here as well. It can fit into that. Let's say you are somebody who, and again, I'm going to use random examples. Let's say you're someone who's a graphic designer and you have your little app or whatever it is you use on your computer open one day, and your child decides he, she, they want to come press a bunch of buttons on your keyboard and start messing around with it because he sees how often mom, dad, guardian play on this thing and they want to also create. Well, let them do it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what kind of creative they come up with, right? If you're an artist, you're painting a canvas, let them do their own thing in their way. You may be compelled. You might feel compelled to say, oh, no, that's not how you do it. Let's do it this way. But what I'm picking up right now, especially this card here, because remember, we're doing this in relationship to your child, right? So this needs to be read a little differently to coexist and contribute to the child reading. And so here you have somebody who's in their own essence, their own central creative being of abundance and who they are. So if you allow your child to share in that experience, but in their own way, I think this could go a long way in October. And I just really feel that this can open the door to a new creative for your little Leo child that you didn't even know was in them before. I get the sense that this is already happening in September. I'm recording this the last few days of September. So this could already be happening. So what I do want to advise strongly, and this is coming from Spirit, again, I am an intuitive reader as well. So what I'm picking up right now is that Spirit is saying you'll be tempted to want to obviously teach your child the quote unquote proper way of doing something, but step aside a bit and see what your child comes up with. They might surprise you and open your world to a different way of doing something. That's coming in strongly. So that's very specific. And the affirmation for this card is, I give thanks for the abundance and prosperity in my life. Okay, so I hope that that was helpful to someone. And again, we are new to this channel, so I will continue to expand the readings and, adjust, especially the questions people would like something else added, or something different would bring more value. But as of right now, these are the questions that I literally, after sitting in meditation for a bit and consulting with Spirit, these are the questions that I feel parents currently need to know or are asking themselves. Alrighty, thank you so much. I appreciate everyone for being here today, and I hope to have you join the next month as well, and the next, and the next. Okay, everyone, thank you. Much love. Bye.